let's move into that in a more detailed way, this idea of mindset. And again, what I talked about on the front end that we see a lot is that there's two elements at play here. I think one is that when you talk to most physicians or nurses, they have a mindset that has allowed them to be successful in their craft and not only survive, but often flourish in a high pressure environment. But now we're in an environment that not only is there stress and pressure in the operation or the environment they're in, but more broadly in the country and in the world of where are we going here? How long is this going to last? How long can I last? And so to be very practical, what are the elements that when you start to deconstruct mindset that a leader or someone leading a team can think about to imbue or give to the folks on their team?
On their team, that's a good question. So just one more comment on, two more just general comments is I know, Brian, you do a lot of work out of Santa Fe and just complexity research in general. And it's very important to understand that a complex environment, and I'm not saying people have the time to go run out and read, David Snowden's Cynefin framework on complexity and other work being done at the Santa Fe Institute. But the point is that complex environments that we're in, they have, as you know, complex environments paradoxically have certain structure and certain characteristics that are by definition emergent in nature, non-causal and non-predictable. But what we tend to do, and we should, is because, and we'll talk about it here in a second, we have systems, we have processes, we have mission planning, we have checklists, we want all those things, but it's such a paradox and a crisis that we have to refine and hold on to those systems to keep us what I consider like directionally correct, but paradoxically never forget that the complex environment doesn't respect those systems. They just help keep us generally moving in the right direction. We have to very first be aware, and this is what it's very much like this on deployment. We very much be aware as a leader for our team and encourage them and remind them I consider it a 24-hour thing, that when we wake up tomorrow, more stuff is going to change to the extent that almost like the rule of the day is contingency planning. Like expect everything to be different the next day. Now, if you get surprised and the day is relatively stable compared to yesterday, that's great. But don't expect stability in an environment like this. You cannot expect stability, obviously overseas, doing a combat deployment. Remember that when Admiral Stockdale was shot down, because he was doing an international master's thesis at Stanford when he was studying Stoicism and philosophy as a second master's degree because he had the time. The book he kept at his bedside table was Epictetus's collected teachings or whatever. And when Admiral Stockdale punched out of his aircraft, when he pulled the ejection cord or whatever, he told himself, he wrote about this extensively, he told himself that I'm leaving the world of technology and entering the world of Epictetus. And so he had a immediate recognition that he was entering a world where, the systems and the processes he was used to leading by and following by and managing his day by were essentially obsolete. He needed to be directionally correct and accept, obviously, the situation he was entering. So all that's to say that to get to the question that you asked and the point that you made is I think one of the most critical things a leader can do in this time is think about your I know we're going to talk about operating rhythm and guidance here in a second, but you think about, again, there's so many paradoxes, but think about your operating rhythm in a way in 24-hour increments, because whether you get 2 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep, when you wake up tomorrow, it's almost like another resetting of contingencies that have to be addressed. And that's normal. I'm saying all that long-windedly because the point is like in a situation like this, overseas in deployment, that's normal. And people shouldn't be thinking like, it's so chaotic, I must be doing something wrong. No, it never gets unchaotic. Again, we can tighten it up a little, but that's a powerful thing for your team to know as you're going through a situation like this.